Hello, class. So this is my comprehensive strategy lesson on questioning. So this lesson will be for an 11th grade United States history class. And the overall objective of this is the class is going to create insightful questions about the Cold War and its implications. So throughout this lesson, me, the teacher, and the students are going to be coming up with questions about the Cold War, its implications, and why it's important. Why is the Cold War so important, and where could it have went wrong? Just trying to use these questions to engage the class in world events. This is the main objective of this lesson. So the video used, instead of a text, I'm going to use a video for this lesson, and it's What If the Cold War Went Nuclear by Alternative History Club. And I thought I would just share with you about 10 or 20 seconds about what the video is, so you can just get a little bit.
When looking back on the Cold War, those 4 decades of tension between the USA and USSR, it's really surprising we made it through it. Both sides hated each other, but were too powerful to fight, knowing it would lead to the end of everything. So, good job, humanity. We didn't become radioactive monkeys. But it's also scary how close we came by either political crisis and on accident. No, by accident doesn't mean someone trips and falls on the red button. Simple computer glitches or miscommunication almost led to the end of the world many times. But through just luck, we kept rolling sixes and didn't blow ourselves up. Yay. But what if in an alternate timeline, we did? The Cold War is the Cold War because it never
So that's
got
the
hot.
main thing to understand. What did it, during our class, in our timeline, in our history, we didn't go to nuclear war with Russia, thankfully. But what if we did? So this leads us into the questioning, and we're going to start with the modeling of the evil empire, and significantly, what is the year 1983 significance? The video stops at 2 minutes and the video stops at 1 minute and 33 seconds, and it talks about the year 1983. So, as a teacher, I'm going to ask a couple questions to the class. Why does this video focus on the year 1983? What is going on in the world in 1983? Who is president? Why is the year significant? And after watching the video and hearing about the destruction a nuclear war would cause, what would the year 1983 symbolize if the Soviet Union and the United States went to war? Considering how much destruction the war would cause, what would it mean for humanity? And understanding these events, how can we prevent it from happening again? So I'll be addressing these questions to the class, and answering some of them, allowing the students to answer some as well, and kind of modeling for them what questioning really should look like. The second think aloud that I will be doing, it stops at 2:43. This is very important because we don't really hear about this guy ever in history. But at 2:43, the video talks about a man named Stalin Petrov. Why is Stalin Petrov considered the savior of humanity? What was the significance of his actions? The video mentions him, and just to give you a background on him, he is responsible for stopping the nuclear war between the United States and Russia. The United States, yeah, the United States and Russia, the Soviet Union. He saw a glitch in the system, and the glitch looked like a nuclear weapon that was coming towards the Soviet Union, and everybody's freaking out. And they're like, "We need to launch our nuclear weapons." And he said, "No, I think it's a glitch. Let's wait. Let's wait on launching it." They waited, and luckily it turned out to be a glitch. So some of the follow-up questions for him is, the video mentions Stalin Petrov waiting to react to starting a nuclear war with the United States. Does this make Stalin Petrov a symbol of anything? Does he symbolize something greater about the Cold War? If he didn't see the glitch on the Soviet radar system, nuclear war would have occurred. This would kill the two most powerful countries in a matter of days. What would the killing of these countries mean for the rest of the world? Would the rest of the world be better off because they wouldn't be influenced from the Soviet Union and the United States? What would happen? What would it mean for humanity? These are all questions that I will model towards the students and have them answer. It's very important. So after, they will do a collaborative use. So the class will watch the video, and then they will work with partners for 5 minutes collaboratively, filling out as much information as they can. They'll be given a sheet like a graphic organizer sheet with 3 columns titled Fact, Fiction, and Questions. So the facts will be what actually happened during the Cold War. The fiction part will be mostly about what if nuclear war happened, you know, cities would be destroyed. The video talks about all this, so, using the stuff in the video talking about the post-apocalyptic nuclear war that never happened would be in the fiction column. And then each pair I want to generate a few questions about, about what happened. And guided practice, and this kind of goes along with guided practice as well. It's a collaborative use, but it's also a guided practice. And next, the class will bring their worksheets to the whole group interactive discussion. The interactive discussion on essential questions regarding the Cold War. So the teacher's kind of going to pick on pairs to discuss what questions they came up with and really discuss the importance and try to find the overarching question of the video and the overall arching question of the Cold War, kind of questioning its significance, its importance, how dangerous it was, really just using these questions as a way to guide students to doing the assessment, kind of just picking on groups, giving them a little insight, but making them discuss the questions and making them come up with their own questions, for the guided practice. Independent use. So as an exit ticket from class, students will independently reflect on the PowerPoint, video, and the discussions on the Cold War we had in class. Each student independently will write 5 questions based on the information they learned in class. So they're going to come up with 5 questions on their own about the Cold War, about its importance, its significance, why it happened, what could have went wrong. And they're going to come up with their own unique questions, and they're going to do this independently. And this is what it's going to look like. It's going to have the name, Mr. Canales, the date. You're going to put United States history. Write down 5 questions based on the video and information we learned in class. This content has to be relatable to the Cold War and the discussions we had in the class. So these are the, where they will write the questions. And I think this is a very important way to kind of bring the, the GRE model, to gradually give them their own, kind of guide them with the questions I made up, to them doing the worksheet collaboratively, to them coming up with their own questions and sharing amongst themselves, and them doing it on their own. But more importantly, I think questioning is important, because questioning, especially in history, allows students and people to engage in history, allows them to engage in their past, to really reflect on what happened, why did it happen, who were the people that made it happen, what could we do from preventing it to happen again, or if it's a good, positive thing, what could we do to make sure that this happens again? And obviously the Cold War and having nuclear war wasn't a good thing, and we do not want that to happen again. But questioning in these events and understanding these events and trying to figure out what happened and who was involved is a really important step, not only just for kids to understand history in class and pass a class, but outside of class to make sure that these events don't happen again and we live in a more peaceful, prosperous world. So that's my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.